When we look at the book, we see Israel's history from beginning right to the point that they're going to leave to go out into the promised land. All right, that's one. The second purpose that we have for the book is the spiritual purpose of the book. The book has a spiritual purpose. And that's another thing that I want you to see. Now, here is the spiritual purpose. It is teaching the promise that God made to Abraham. God says to Abraham, what are the promises that God made to Abraham? What's the Abrahamic covenant promise kind of a thing?
He said that he would make his generations multiply across the earth.
Right, one.
In thy seed shall be blessed all the people, all the world.
The seed should be blessed. So there's the nation promise. There is the seed promise. Which other one?
The great name. The great name.
And the name. Right, yes. All right. So there's the land promise, the seed promise, and the name. So spiritually, no, here is what we have. The promise of the promised seed did take place. Good. What we see that God is creating here is a great nation of people. Look at Exodus 19 and verse 6. All right, look at Exodus 19 and verse 6. And what we're going to see this coming into God, ensuring that his promise is going to be achieved or fulfilled. Look at Exodus 19:6. And in fact, let me read verse 5 and 6. Now, therefore, if you will indeed obey my voice and keep my covenant, you shall be my treasured possession among all people. All peoples, for all the earth is mine. And watch this now. And you shall be to me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. These are the words that you shall speak to the people of Israel. So there is a spiritual significance. There's a spiritual importance to the Israelites, and it is recorded right here in the book of Exodus. All right. So there, the spiritual promise is that they are going to be a great nation. They're going to be a nation of kingdom priests, a priestly kingdom. Well, let me ask you, who's a priest, or what does a priest do?
A priest would make sacrifices and atoning sacrifices in the Old Testament.
Intercedes between God and man.
Okay, let me merge both comments. Right. It is where the sacrifice is going to be made to be offered to God, almost as an intercession between, it's a mediator between the God and the Israel and the people. In other words, the priest is going to bridge the gap between God and man. Now, if Israel is to be a kingdom of priests, then what they are expected to do is to shine the light of God on other nations. All right? Does this passage sound familiar to you? Exodus 19:6. Do we find this passage anywhere else?
in Peter.
Okay.
I don't
Tell me
remember where
where.
it was.
Where in Peter? You're right. Where in Peter?
Let me find it.
Okay. All right. It's so. Does it have a 2 in it? Does it have a 2 in it? This book in Peter. Hmm?
Yeah, it's First Peter 2,
All right. And verse.
verse
Try verse
5,
9.
verse 9. Okay.
Yeah.
But ye are an elect race, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a people of God's own possession, that ye may show for the excellencies of him who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light.
All right. How would you relate this passage to the passage in Exodus 19? Is it saying the same thing?
I believe it's the war of a nation. In our case, it's the war of a chosen people calling out.
Mm-hmm. All right. Okay. Anybody? Can I call you Emmanuel? Can I call you Emmanuel?
Yes, please.
Okay. All right. Any comments that you have that you want to make about how you link and Patrick is mighty silent? Because what I want you to see is the connection in Exodus 19:6. What notice what it says. You verse 6 says, and you shall be a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. All right. Verse 5 says, if you will indeed obey my voice, then you will be my treasure. sorry. Notice this now. You will be my treasured possession. The
Hey, Eddie.
passage in 1 Peter 2:9 says that you are a peculiar people. Don't mean that you're strange. It means that you're a prized, possessed people. For what purpose, though? That you might show forth his excellencies to a world of darkness. And it's the same thing that the Israelites were expected to do. So I'm saying that in the book of Exodus, there is a spiritual purpose to the book where the nation whom God has redeemed is that nation who is his treasured possession, who is going to be teaching. It is going to be a kingdom of priests. Of course, they're going to mess up. We know that. But at least that is God's design for them. So there is a historical purpose to the book. There's a spiritual purpose to the book. And here is something now. What is it that the Israelites were to teach the other nations? They were to teach the nations now that the blood of Christ, the blood of the Lamb, that salvation is based upon the blood of the Lamb. They're going to be yes.
Hey, how about Ephesians 1:13 and 14?
All right.
For this connection, here it is. In him you also, after listening to the message of truth, the gospel of your salvation, having also believed, you were sealed in him with the Holy Spirit of promise, who is given as a pledge of our inheritance, with a view to the redemption of God's own possession, to the praise of his glory.
All right. Okay, then, old Chip, link all three of them for me.
Okay, so linking it, we see this in the New Testament, speaking of Jesus. In the Old Testament in Exodus, we see the Jesus sacrifice being made by the priests who were who were Israelites, God's chosen people then. I'm trying to talk my way through this here. Let's see.
I'm challenging you to talk yourself through it.
Well, that's good. So then there would be a sacrificial lamb for the atonement of sins that would be presented to God by the priests, and these priests would they wouldn't intercede, but they would connect God and men. These sacrifices would have to be continuously made. And Jesus' sacrifice here that's spoken of in Ephesians, this is a once and for all sacrifice he made, and we will receive this inheritance. Back in the Exodus times, their inheritance and the things they were after, or that they'd been promised with, was the promised land. Now to us, now Jesus has promised us a seat in mansions above. So I don't know if that's what you're looking for. But
all right, okay, all right. You're making me smile. Good. Notice that in the book of Exodus, they were to be teaching the people that, look here, salvation is going to come through the blood of the Lamb. God has created this nation, this priestly nation, this priestly kingdom, so that they can show to the world what it is like to be God's prized possession. There is a relationship here, and this is where we're talking about the typology. This is a relationship here with the New Testament Christianity, because what you have is that we have been created. We are a holy nation, but each Christian is a priest, and we become Christ's possession, Ephesians, not just to say, oh yeah, I'm God's prize, but you see the responsibility we have, as Peter says, is to show forth the excellencies of his glory, to ensure that we be a light to the dark world. That's what Israel was supposed to be. And the book of Exodus demonstrates that the nation was created because God wanted them to do that.